on his back, fighting him off in the first round. And then they start in the second round. Chandler moves straight to him, and Oliveira just pieces him up.
Oh, yeah, I do remember. Yeah, I do remember.
Woo! He hit him with a clean left hook. It was clean.
I think I was there.
You might have been.
Yeah, man, we had some good ass fights. And now, now Crawford's about to fight.
Yes, he's gonna fight Canelo.
Oh, man.
I just hope he's big enough. I hope he's big enough to keep that dude off him, because Canelo hits so hard, man.
That's one dude that, like, I believe all the shit he was talking.
Crawford? Yeah. Oh, he's good.
He don't just be saying shit.
They tried to say that, like, Errol Spence was damaged because of what Crawford did to him, because he was damaged from the car accident. I'm like, maybe. Or maybe Crawford would have done that 3 years ago. I think he's that good. He's just so skillful. He's so slick. And when he gets, and he's also the best guy in the sport at switch hitting. He'll go from southpaw to orthodox and be just as good and trip you up. Like, you think he's going to start southpaw, he starts orthodox. You prepare for orthodox, he's fighting southpaw. He feels like he's got you timed better orthodox, he'll switch it up. You know? Oh, just knows so much about boxing, about where to be and what's coming. And
Joe Rogan has just warned Canelo Alvarez and asked him to avoid the Terence Crawford fight. The reigning 147-pound champions camp has confirmed that a deal is in place for him to face Mexico's three-division super middleweight king Canelo Alvarez's team has confirmed that the fight is set for September 13th, discussing the matchup on a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience. Alongside stand-up comedian Brian Simpson, the UFC commentator couldn't contain his admiration for Crawford's brilliance in the ring. While praising the boxing phenom, Rogan also took a moment to address a major controversy surrounding Crawford's 2023 victory over Errol Spence Jr. Following Crawford's dominant performance, speculation arose that Spence's diminished defense was a result of lasting damage from a devastating car accident he endured years prior. The JRE host pushed back, arguing that Crawford's sheer brilliance as a fighter made the outcome inevitable. He would have beaten Spence, injuries or not. Joe Rogan stated that some people had tried to argue that Errol's defense was weakened due to the effects of his car accident and what Crawford had done to him. However, he questioned that assumption, suggesting that Crawford might have achieved the same result even 3 years earlier, as he believed Crawford was exceptionally skilled. Rogan described Crawford as highly skillful and slick, emphasizing that he was the best in the sport at switch hitting, seamlessly transitioning from southpaw to orthodox while maintaining the same level of effectiveness and confusing his opponents. He further mentioned that Crawford had extensive knowledge of boxing, particularly in terms of positioning and anticipating his opponent's moves. Looks like Rogan has taken quite a liking to the boxer, which explains his excitement for the showdown against Saul Canelo Alvarez. But while he's all in, not everyone is backing the American world champion.
He makes it, he's a strategist that's also entertaining.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
he's an artist.
I remember like a young B-Hop.
Yeah,
It was like
yeah,
just so sharp and made it look
yeah.
almost entertaining. You know what I mean?
Roy Jones in his prime. It was art. You were watching art. He's piecing up people with an art form. All right, Brian Simpson. Let's wrap this bitch up. Bring it home. Everybody, you BS Comedian on Twitter, BS Comedian on Instagram.
BrianSimpsonComedy.com for tour tickets.
Netflix special.
Live from the mothership.
Bam.
Right now.
That's it. Thank you, brother. Bye. Thank you.
Oh,
right.
You know
What?
we had to talk about.
What?
I wanted to thank you for sending people to go watch that clip of Love on YouTube.
Oh,
I got a lot of
one of the best videos, or one of the best bits of all time. I love that. All right, go see it. It's on YouTube. Bye.
Mexican-American boxer David Benavides didn't hold back when discussing the potential showdown between super middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez and American world champion Terence Crawford. In an interview with TNT Sports, Benavides weighed in on both fighters' chances, acknowledging that each reigns supreme in their respective division. Fully aware of the magnitude of this matchup, he emphasized that it has all the makings of one of the most electrifying clashes in recent years. He said, "To be honest with you, Crawford is one of the best technical fighters I have ever seen. When he went to 154, I'm not saying he had problems, but he looked like he didn't have the power he had at 147, and he'd still have to come up 2 or 3 weight classes. However, he believes Canelo is the clear favorite to win given the natural advantages he holds at 168 pounds. Benavides further added, Crawford is a one-of-a-kind fighter, but weight classes must be respected. I'd give Canelo the edge. Joe Rogan, though, is hopeful that Terence Crawford will be able to be in shape enough to face Alvarez head-to-head. On the same episode of the podcast, the JRE host mentioned that the fighter was going to face Canelo. He expressed his concern about whether he would be big enough to handle the challenge, emphasizing that he hoped he would be able to keep Canelo at bay. Rogan also noted how powerful Canelo's punches were, highlighting the difficulty of facing such a hard-hitting opponent. A potential September clash between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez in Las Vegas has boxing fans on the edge of their seats. Why? It's the classic clash of styles, strategic brilliance, and the challenge of bridging weight divisions. As excitement builds, the debate over who holds the upper hand rages on. Now Jose Benavidez, the elder brother of WBC interim light heavyweight champion David Benavidez, has stepped into the discussion, adding fuel to the fire. At 32, Jose Benavidez knows firsthand the power of Terence Crawford, having suffered a brutal knockout loss to him in their 2018 clash for the WBO welterweight title. With an up-close look at Crawford's skill set, he understands exactly what the undefeated 410-31 KO champion brings to the ring. However, Benz's prediction for an upcoming super fight isn't just based on experience. He also carries a personal motive. His younger brother never got the chance to face Canelo Alvarez, a missed opportunity that denied him a stage to prove his talent. Now, with a potential Canelo versus Crawford bout looming, Jose has already made his choice. So where does his loyalty lie? Jose Benavidez recently appeared at the press conference for the highly anticipated showdown between David Morrell and David Benavidez. During an interview with Fight Hub TV, he shared his thoughts on how he expects the fight to play out, and Jose Benavidez didn't hold back and confidently stated, "I mean, like I said, Crawford's a beast. He's smart, he knows what he's doing." Regarding the opponent, he conceded that although Canelo is the naturally larger fighter, a fight's result isn't solely determined by size. He added, "Canelo, I mean, he's not that big of a guy. Obviously he weighs more, but I mean, you can't take anything from Crawford. He goes in there and wins." He also conveyed his disappointment for his younger sibling. "In the meantime, it sucks that my brother didn't get that opportunity. Only Canelo knows why that didn't happen, and he's got to keep moving forward." He lamented as the interim super middleweight champion Benavidez stood as Canelo Alvarez's mandatory challenger. However, negotiations stalled when Canelo allegedly set an exorbitant price for the fight with no deal in sight. Benitez opted to move up in weight, where he secured a statement victory over Alexander Gasic to claim the interim light heavyweight title. Going forward, Jose didn't hold anything when asked about Terence Crawford's combat IQ. "The thing with him is he's just a smart, Benavidez said. He emphasized Crawford's knack for seamlessly transitioning between southpaw and orthodox stances, which adds an element of unpredictability and danger to his style. He also pointed out that many opponents who step into the ring with the Mexican champion appear to be mentally overwhelmed before the fight even starts, but he believes Crawford will approach it with a complete different mindset. So Crawford is going there to win. He's not going in there to lose." He predicted other fighters and pundits disagree with Benavidez's assessment of Crawford's skills. Mexican boxing icon Julio Cesar Chavez has thrown his support behind Canelo, forecasting a knockout within 6 or 7 rounds. Although he respects Terence Crawford's talents, Chavez firmly believes the 13 pounds weight disparity between the two fighters will be too much to overcome. Crawford is a good fighter, but there's weight classes. The 3-weight world champion explained. On the other hand, given the southpaw's success across various divisions, Paul doubts it will have any significant impact on his performance. Furthermore, Paul thinks that Terence has the skill and is a bit fresher than Canelo. "If I had to put my money on it, I would probably go with Terence." Jake Paul certainly caught everyone off guard with his pick, but he's not the only one backing the super welterweight over Canelo Alvarez. Alexander Usyk, for his part, expressed a similar admiration during an appearance on the 3 Knockdown Rule podcast. The unbeaten heavyweight champion offered high praise for Bud Crawford. "I like Terence, it's my friend, but it's crazy, man. Listen, I say Terence win, yes Terence win, but listen Terence, it's different, man. Terence working two sides right and left, but it's very smart, man. It's very smart, but feel distance in the place." Usyk stated a 14 pounds difference across 2 weight classes might seem like a massive leap, but Crawford is unfazed by giving Canelo Alvarez a size edge. As the Ring previously reported, the two are meticulously finalizing the details as discussions continue, with a potential showdown looming. The boxing community remains divided, with opinions evenly split on the outcome. Jaron Ennis, currently ranked as the Ring's top welterweight and the reigning IBF champion, confesses that he'll be watching eagerly if the fight comes to fruition. While he doesn't lean toward Alvarez's side, he's not backing Crawford either. In Ennis's view, the outcome of a showdown between the two who could swing in any direction. That's a good fight, a 50-50 fight, admitted Andis to YSM Sports Media. Ironically, it was Andis who once pursued Crawford, but now his attention has shifted. The future Hall of Famer is no longer his focus, as their paths are unlikely to intersect again. The Philly star is moving forward, leaving that chapter behind at 37. Crawford is nearing the end of his career. The sands of time are running low, and extending his tenure in the sport isn't a goal he's chasing. His most recent appearance saw him narrowly secure a unanimous decision victory over Israel Madrimov in his debut at 154B, earning the ring's #1 spot in the junior middleweight division. Alvarez, by contrast, successfully defended his super middleweight title twice, but Andis believes that the significantly lighter Crawford could be a different story. Of course, the main concern remains the weight difference. Crawford has long been known for his nimbleness, elusiveness, and remarkable ability to avoid punches. However, with the extra weight, could his trademark speed take a hit? Will the pound-for-pound king appear sluggish, like he's wading through quicksand, or will his reflexes remain as sharp as ever? These are the burning questions Andis is eager to answer. He said, "I'm pretty sure it's going to be a little difficult. He's going to have to put on an extra 14 pounds, so he might be a little slower. Or who knows, he could be faster. I don't know, we'll see on fight night how he'll look." Bob Arum is one of many who is becoming more intrigued by a Canelo versus Terence Crawford clash as it starts to turn into a real possibility. The reigning unified super middleweight world champion had earlier brushed off the challenge from Crawford, a fellow 4-division title holder who most recently competed at super welterweight. Entered Turki Alek of Saudi Arabia, who seems to have made good strides towards securing the fight because of the enormous weight difference. Veteran promoter Arum told his former charge Crawford that he had no chance. In an interview with Fight Hub TV in late 2023, Arum stated that he believed Canelo would easily defeat Crawford. While he expressed his admiration for Crawford and recalled predicting that Crawford would dominate Spence, he emphasized that Canelo was a completely different challenge. He acknowledged that the fight was intriguing, but was convinced there was only one likely winner. According to Arum, Canelo was accustomed to competing at a certain level, and he doubted that Terence could inflict any significant damage on him, whereas Canelo had the power to hurt Terence.
Canelo wipes the floor with him. I love Crawford. I told you when Crawford and Spence that Crawford would beat the hell out of him, but Canelo is a different proposition. It's an interesting fight, but I think there's only one winner. Canelo is used to fighting at a particular level, and and I don't think that Terence can hurt Canelo, but Canelo can hurt him.
More recently, though, Arum told Fight Hype that despite needing to gain 14 pounds for the challenge, he can't rule out Crawford. He added, "I wouldn't count Crawford out in any fight because Crawford has a unique talent. He's a great boxer puncher, and he is totally ambidextrous, so he drives his opponent crazy because the opponent trains to fight a right-handed fighter and ends up fighting a southpaw. That's what happened to Errol Spence. Spence trained to fight a right-handed fighter, and all he saw was a southpaw. I think what Crawford is looking for." The British promoter argues that although Crawford boasts exceptional skills and a keen ring IQ, his weight disadvantage will be a major factor when facing Canelo, who is naturally larger and more powerful. Hearn brought up Crawford's fight with 154-pounder Israel Madrimov, implying that Crawford had a difficult time there. "I think he struggled against Madrimov, who is a strong 154-pounder, and he'll really feel it in there against Canelo." Hearn added, although Hearn is skeptical of Crawford's ability to overcome the size difference, he acknowledges that the American's agility, strategic mind, and sheer brilliance could pose a significant challenge for Canelo. His movement and his brilliance and his ring IQ will cause Canelo some serious problems, he admitted. He is adamant, though, that Canelo's physical advantages will be a major factor in how the fight turns out. The upcoming Canelo versus Crawford showdown stands as one of the year's most eagerly awaited fights, with insights from figures like Eddie Hearn intensifying the buzz. Can Crawford defy expectations and conquer the challenge posed by the weight disparity, or will Canelo's superior power and size prove insurmountable for the American challenger? The stage is set for a thrilling clash, one that could go down as a defining moment in boxing, although the size difference is hard to overlook, with Canelo reigning as the unified super middleweight champion and Crawford having only ventured one fight above welterweight. It would be a mistake to count out the two-time undisputed champion. Teddy Atlas, the former trainer and boxing analyst, is one of those who sees Crawford's potential for success, although Atlas acknowledges that Crawford's ability to adapt to the jump from 154 pounds to 168 pounds could ultimately determine the outcome. He remains confident that the pound-for-pound champion has what it takes to pull off an upset.
It seems like it's not official, but it may be a done deal. Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez. Early thoughts? What do you think?
Yeah, look, the first thought is, can he handle the weight cut? Can he handle the weight cut? He being Crawford. Against Matt Rudolph, people are going to say, oh, he had some hiccups. Who don't have hiccups? When you eat something that's a little difficult to eat, and Matt Rudolph was a little difficult to eat, he's not easy to digest. He's a good fighter. When you really, Sam, when you eat something that's a little tough to digest, you get hiccups, right? So, come on, he's human. So he had a few hiccups. He won the fight. He's Terence Crawford. A lot of people say, oh, Teddy, you make it so good. You always say how great Crawford is. But who did he beat? He unified the, what was his first division? Lightweight, then he unified the junior, then he unified the junior welter, then he unified the welter. I think I got the weight classes right. It doesn't matter. He unified like 3 different weight classes. He moved up in weight. He's beaten anybody that they put in front of him. He beat an undefeated fighter in Errol Spence that everybody thought was just like, one of the best fighters out there, which he was. He was one of the top fighters pound for pound out there, and he didn't just beat him. He dismantled him. He might have ruined him. We were talking about getting ruined in fights earlier. He might have ruined him. We don't know. He hasn't been back yet, Spencer.
Crawford wouldn't be the first to attempt the challenge of moving up 2 weight classes to face Canelo. Jal Charlo made the leap from junior middleweight to super middleweight only to be knocked down once by Canelo during a commanding unanimous decision win. Charlo, however, is not Crawford. The versatile 4-division champion who has claimed undisputed status at junior welterweight is better suited for a major weight jump. His skill set and speed would give him a distinct edge over Canelo, making him more prepared for the challenge. Climbing 14 pounds to face any elite super middleweight is already a formidable challenge, but going up against a pound-for-pound legend like Canelo, who has ruled the super middleweight division since 2020, is an entirely different level of difficulty. The obstacles Canelo and Crawford pose for one another, coupled with the remarkable achievements that have brought them to this moment, are what elevate a potential showdown between them to the level of a super fight. Israel Madria, who squared off against Terence Crawford last year, has offered his insights on the highly anticipated clash between his former rival and Canelo. Alvarez Madria, who suffered a loss to Crawford last August in their WBA light middleweight title fight, shared his thoughts on the potential showdown. Following 12 intense rounds, Crawford emerged victorious with a unanimous decision, claiming the title of world champion across 4 weight divisions. With this achievement under his belt, he now has his eyes firmly set on Canelo Alvarez, the reigning unified super middleweight champion of the WBA, WBC, and WBO. The highly anticipated showdown, which has been the subject of much excitement, is tentatively set for September in Las Vegas, though no official confirmation has been given. Turki Alek, a key figure in Riyadh season, has been spearheading the negotiations, bringing 2 of boxing's biggest names closer to a long-awaited battle. After months of rumors, it seems the top pound-for-pound fighters have come to terms and are on track to meet in the ring at last. In an interview with Boxing News, Madrimov was asked for his take on the upcoming mega fight. He expressed doubt about his former opponent's ability to step up 2 weight divisions and overcome the Mexican powerhouse. His response was clear: it's a very different weight class. Canelo will win, I think, by decision. Madoff is convinced that size will play a crucial role, but his primary focus is on his upcoming return to the ring. Next month, he is scheduled to take on WBC interim light middleweight champion Virgil Ortiz Jr. Crawford made it clear he wanted to face the Mexican sensation soon after his victory over WBA light middleweight champion Israel Madrimov in Los Angeles last August. After several months of discussions between the 2 fighters, it seems a deal is finally in place, with a highly anticipated showdown set to happen later this year. In an interview with the Ring magazine, Keane Davis supported his fellow American to overcome the hurdles and complete the task at hand by gaining 168 pounds. He added, of course, but I just think Crawford is the more pure box. Canelo is legendary, though he's great, you know what I'm saying. Another loss on Canelo's record is not going to deteriorate how great his career is. I feel like Bud's just the more pure boxer, better footwork, southpaw, great jab. And Bud got respectable power at 37. He has already claimed undisputed titles in both the super lightweight and welterweight divisions. However, his next opponent presents a monumental challenge, a fighter who has ruled the super middleweight scene ever since his 2021 victory over Caleb Plant. Canelo was the undisputed 168 PB champion until last year, when he lost his IBF title for choosing to fight Edgar Berlanga instead of the mandatory challenger William Skull. Several well-known athletes, including Israeli Romero, who won the WBA belt at 140 pounds in 2023 and 2024, have taken notice of it. Romero was right to support the Mexican legend to win, telling EAS News that it would take a stupid person to give Crawford a chance. Romero added, "Let me ask you this, who's a better fighter, Floyd Mayweather or Terence Crawford?" You're going to compare a 168-pound solid grown man Canelo to fight Terence Crawford? All the people who think Crawford would even have a single chance against Canelo, they're stupid. It's not even close. If anyone truly believes Crawford will beat Canelo, I will bet them any amount of money they have weight classes for a reason. Mike Kopinger of ESPN claims that Crawford will move up 2 weight classes to take with Canelo at his natural super middleweight weight class without a rehydration clause. Given the size difference between the fighters, many experts anticipated a contractual agreement to restrict how much weight Canelo could gain between the weigh-in and fight night. Crawford, a significantly smaller fighter, recently made the leap to super welterweight after competing at lighter divisions, including lightweight, super lightweight, and welterweight. Throughout his remarkable career, Canelo has competed at a weight of 175 pounds, which is light heavyweight. Brian B.A.C. McIntyre, Crawford's trainer, is adamant that this won't happen, even implying that they didn't want one. While admirable, the confidence is not unwarranted. Crawford is a legendary talent, standing alongside Alexander Usyk and Naoya Inoue as one of only 3 boxers to claim undisputed titles in 2 weight classes during the 4-belt era. Crawford, who has been unbeaten in 41 professional fights, is a prime example of someone who can defy the odds. The Omaha puncher claims that his superior ring IQ and status as one of the most complete boxers in the world will help him win in the battle. He told Boxing Scene, "Man, we're going to see come fight time what my advantage is. I'm the type of guy who likes to feel my fighters out and adjust to what they're doing. I think that's my greatest attribute, to be able to figure out every opponent I've faced thus far." So that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos.